No, absolutely not. I mean, you are entirely missing the point here. I am telling you right now, it is absolutely brilliant.
Hold on a second. Just hold on.
It is a properly genius piece of cinema. And to just dismiss it out of hand is, well, it's borderline criminal. You're looking at it completely the wrong way around.
Properly genius. Are you joking?
Yes.
You are throwing that word around like it costs nothing, mate.
Yeah.
It is a bit overhyped, if we were being completely honest here, and quite frankly, it is extremely dodgy in places.
Dodgy? It's not dodgy at all.
You cannot just ignore the massive, gaping structural flaws just because you have some sort of, I don't know, romantic attachment to the final 10 minutes.
I'm not ignoring any. Look, right here. I brought the text. I am slapping it right here on the table between them.
Oh, here we go.
Yes, here we go.
Cinema, the magic vehicle, a comprehensive guide. Journey 1, 1913 to 1950.
All in here. All the facts, the entire breakdown.
I know what the book says.
And if you actually read between the lines of this incredibly cynical book, you see a filmmaker doing something entirely unprecedented.
I have read it, cover to cover. And the book quite clearly states, and I quote, let me find the exact page here.
You don't need to find the page. I know what it says.
Yes, I do. It says, it is far removed from his best achievements. It is an atypical, sentimental mess for the most part.
It doesn't say mess.
It is a shambles for at least 2/3 of its runtime.
Yeah.
A complete lethargic shambles.
A shambles? Are you joking? Okay, listener, let's back up for just a second because clearly things are already getting quite heated over here.
Very heated.
What we are arguing over right now, our mission for today, is to look at Buster Keaton's highly controversial 1925 film, Go West.
Controversial is putting it mildly.
We are using this critical text, cinema, the magic vehicle, to figure out if this film is a misunderstood masterpiece or, as my colleague here thinks, a literal train wreck.
It is a literal and figurative train wreck, yes.
Because, listener, I need you to picture this. You are sitting in a cinema, right? It is 1925.
A long time ago.
You are expecting the usual Buster Keaton experience. You know, rapid fire, purely mechanical, physics-defying gags. But instead...
I think a lot of cow walking.
But instead, you are watching an artist absolutely pivot.
Hey.
He throws away the safety net and tries something entirely unexpected. It is not a shambles. It is a meticulously crafted emotional journey.
I would strongly warn you, listener, do not be fooled by this romanticism. Do not let this enthusiastic shouting blind you to the reality of the text we have right in front of us.
I'm not shouting.
You are shouting a bit. The ambition might have been there, perhaps, but the execution is utterly lethargic.
Lethargic.
We have the source material right here, and it does not paint the rosy, properly genius picture being shouted across the table at me.
Okay, fine. Let's...
If you've only seen Keaton pulling off mathematical miracles in his other films, you're going to be shocked by how sluggish this one is.
Right, fine. Let's go to the source then. We need to start at the very beginning of the plot because that is where the genius actually originates.
If you can find any.
I want to look at the story, right, which was conceived by Raymond Cannon and the script put together by Buster Keaton himself alongside Lex Neal.
Yes, Cannon and Neal.
Because if you do not understand the setup, you cannot possibly understand the payoff at the end.
Fine. Let us look at the setup. The setup of a film that is fundamentally mechanically broken.
It is not broken. Look at the protagonist. His name is literally Friendless.
Subtle.
He is a completely penniless protagonist who is entirely unable to find work in his small town. Do you see the thematic weight of that instantly?
I see a very basic comedy trope.
Friendless. It's stark. So he tries his luck, doesn't he? He goes to New York, the big city, the promise of the metropolis.
And fails immediately.
Exactly. And what happens? The text tells us exactly what happens. The metropolis is too crowded, and he is nearly trampled to death.
Wait, hold on. You are already attempting to elevate a basic slapstick premise into high tragedy.
It is high tragedy.
It is a standard fish out of water setup. It is not Shakespeare.
No, wait. Hear me out. It is better than a standard setup. Think about the physical mechanics of that New York trampling scene.
It's just a crowded street?
It is a visual representation of the modern condition. Keaton doesn't just have people bumping into him for a laugh.
Well, he is a comedian.
He shoots it, so the bodies literally press in, the camera angles tighten, the oxygen is sucked out of the frame. It is a modern anxiety attack caught on film in 1925.
An anxiety attack you are reaching, mate.
The crushing weight of urban life, The sheer lack of humanity in the crowd. You have to remember, listener, cities were exploding in size back then, and Keaton captures that sheer, terrifying anonymity perfectly.
He gets stepped on.
He is nearly trampled to death. And not in a funny slip-on-a-banana peel way. It perfectly sets up the emotional stakes of the entire film.
Emotional stakes.
Yeah. He is rejected by the small town, physically crushed by the metropolis, and so he follows the famous call. Go west, young man.
A very literal interpretation of Horace Greeley.
He jumps onto a westbound freight train. It is iconic.
Iconic. It is a purely functional way to get him from point A to point B because they needed him in the West for the cowboy gags.
Functional. It's beautiful.
Let's read what Cinema, the Magic Vehicle, actually says about the emotional stakes you are so wildly fond of.
Go on, then.
The book explicitly asserts that this picture is atypically sentimental.
Which is a good thing.
Now, in a slapstick context, that is not a compliment. It says Keaton could not quite handle this picture.
That's just the author's opinion.
And that it is far removed from his best achievements. His best achievements are built on razor-sharp stoicism.
He is stoic in this.
Think of his other work. He is the great stone face, facing down cyclones and falling houses with absolute mechanical precision.
Yes, but
This emotional setup you are praising, it completely betrays his usual brilliant stoicism. It softens him in a way that just doesn't work.
it doesn't betray anything.
It makes the character pitiable, not resilient.
Are you joking? It's spot on. It is absolutely spot on.
It is sloppy.
It's not betraying his stoicism, it's putting his stoicism in a completely new environment.
An environment where he just looks sad.
The stoic man in a mechanically chaotic world is his whole thing, yes, but here, the chaos is emotional as well as physical.
I don't see the emotional chaos.
The isolation is the obstacle. Look at the freight train moment. Jumping that westbound freight train, think about how it's shot.
It's shot like a train.
It's a vast, lonely image. It's not just, oh, he fell on a train for a laugh. It's a brilliant commentary on the American dream.
The American dream. We're talking about a guy hiding in a barrel.
The idea that if you are chewed up and spat out by the industrial machine, you go to the frontier. You forge your own path.
Mate, he just wants a sandwich and a job.
It is a desperate leap into the unknown. And Keaton and Lex Neal knew exactly what they were doing. They were stripping the character down to absolute zero.
You are projecting entirely too much onto a very simple plot mechanic.
I am reading the visual subtext.
The script by Keaton and Lex Neal, based on Raymond Cannon's story, is just moving the chess pieces.
But the pieces mean something.
Because once he actually gets out west, what happens to this grand American dream narrative?
He gets a job on a ranch.
The film absolutely grinds to a halt. Your brilliant commentary completely fizzles out the moment he steps off that train.
It doesn't fizzle, it breathes.
The moment Friendless arrives on the Diamond Bar Ranch, the pacing becomes bloody awful.
Bloody awful. I cannot believe I am hearing this. The second act is essential.
It is a lethargic shambles. Let's look at the facts.
Yes.
Let's look at the actual narrative progression on the ranch. Friendless gets work as a cowboy.
Despite having no experience.
Exactly. The text says he does quite well, despite his ignorance of animals. Now that is a classic setup.
Classic comedy.
The incompetent man succeeding through sheer dumb luck. But look at the cast of characters he is surrounded by. We have a very specific list here.
A brilliant list.
We have Howard Truesdale playing the owner of the Diamond Bar Ranch.
An excellent actor.
We have Kathleen Myers playing his daughter. We have Ray Thompson as the ranch foreman.
Very solid performances.
We even have Joe Keaton, Buster's own father, playing a cheating poker player.
A great little cameo there.
And there is Gus Leonard as an Indiana shop owner somewhere in the mix.
Yes, a fantastic supporting cast. Real faces, real grit. They look like they actually belong in the dust.
The completely wasted supporting cast.
Wasted.
Because what does the text tell us? When he fails to find a sympathetic soul among people.
That's the point.
Despite all those actors, despite Truesdale, Myers, Thompson, and his own father, Friendless finds absolutely no human connection.
Which is the entire thematic core.
The script gives them nothing interesting to do. And so what does he do? He develops a deep friendship with a cow called Brown Eyes.
Which is incredible.
It is ridiculous.
Have you ever seen a man try to act opposite a cow? The restraint it takes.
It is forced. The book's harsh critique is completely justified here.
The book is wrong.
The text says, and I am quoting again, for the most part, Go West is a not very dynamic enumeration of gags. some of which are quite forced.
And not very dynamic enumeration. What a pompous way to say it's slow.
This entire middle section, this supposed emotional journey with a cow, is a not very dynamic enumeration of gags.
I vehemently disagree.
The pacing dies. The human cast does not elevate the material, so we are left with a man and a livestock animal awkwardly trying to generate comedy without the usual kinetic energy Keaton is known for.
It's a different kind of energy.
If you're a listener expecting the dazzling stunts of a classic Keaton film, you are instead watching a man slowly walk around a dirt lot for 40 minutes.
You can't be serious. You honestly cannot be serious right now.
I am deadly serious.
The relationship with Brown Eyes, the cow, is incredibly touching.
Oh, shit.
Right. It is a stroke of bizarre, melancholic, comedic genius. Look at how he plays it. He treats the cow with more dignity than the humans treated him in New York.
Well, the cow doesn't step on him.
It perfectly pays off the first act. He was rejected by the small town. He was physically crushed by New York.
We've established this.
He goes out west, meets this vast cast of characters, the owner, the daughter, the foreman, the poker player, and they're all just as cold, indifferent, and transactional as the city was.
So he talks to his dinner.
So he turns to the most docile, overlooked creature on the ranch, a cow with big, sad eyes. It is profound.
Profound. It is a cow.
It represents his own soul.
It is a slow-moving, cud-chewing animal that completely drains the momentum from a slapstick comedy.
It doesn't drain it, it anchors it.
You cannot build a comedy around an animal that refuses to hit a mark or understand comedic timing.
It grounds the comedy, it gives it a soul. He's slowing down the frantic pace of the 1920s and forcing the audience to sit in the quiet.
He's putting them to sleep. Look, I will concede exactly 1 point to you about this entire lethargic middle section. Just one.
Oh, how generous of you. Please, impart your wisdom.
I am being objective, looking at the source. The text does mention one excellent joke in this entire middle section.
Just one.
Exactly one. It says, but one, describing the hero's solution to the problem of the humane branding of cattle, is excellent.
Well, at least I got that right.
I will agree with the book there. The humane branding gag works.
It's more than works, it's brilliant.
It is clever, yes. Because instead of a hot iron, he simply shaves the brand into the cow's fur.
With a barber's kit, it's so sweet.
It's a neat visual subversion, I will give you that.
Thank you.
But one single good gag about branding cattle does not save a lethargic, structurally unsound film.
Structurally unsound, give me a break.
One joke does not excuse an entire act of pacing that feels like wading through molasses.
That's rubbish, mate. It's absolute rubbish.
The text supports me.
That one gag is brilliant, yes, because it perfectly illustrates his character's empathy, but it's part of a tapestry.
A tapestry of boredom.
Buster Keaton and Joseph M. Schenck, the producers, they were not idiots. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Did they?
They were deliberately building a slow burn narrative.
Yeah.
You think Keaton forgot how to edit?
I think he got stuck.
You think he forgot how to do stunts? No. I'll admit the pacing slows down, but he is forcing you to slow down to the pace of the ranch.
I don't want to go at the pace of a ranch.
To the pace of Brown Eyes, so that when the climax hits, it hits with 1,000 times more impact.
A tapestry. You are doing it again. You are using extremely flowery language to mask the fact that the book literally calls his performance in this section a lethargy.
I disagree with the word lethargy.
It says the spectator has to forgive Keaton for his previous lethargy.
The spectator doesn't need to forgive anything.
You do not build a comedy by boring your audience into a stupor so the ending feels exciting by comparison.
It's not a stupor.
That is terrible filmmaking. It's a structural failure.
It is not boring. It is atmospheric. And it is completely necessary to build the stakes for the explosive financial crisis that kicks off the climax.
Finally, we get to something actually happening.
Because the lethargy, the peace of the ranch, it gets shattered, doesn't it?
It does finally transition, yes. It finally remembers it's supposed to be a moving picture.
Exactly. Let's look at the facts of this transition. The Diamond Bar Ranch faces bankruptcy.
A common trope.
Suddenly, the slow-paced world is under threat. To save it, they have to sell some cattle.
Including your precious Brown Eyes.
Yes, but this goes against the wishes of a hostile neighbor, so we have genuine conflict.
Tiny bit of conflict, yes.
And who do they turn to? Friendless. Friendless, who started as a penniless nobody in a small town who was treated like dirt, is now a trusted employee.
Only because everyone else is gone.
He is given a monumental task, the single-handed task of transporting a massive herd all the way to the Los Angeles slaughterhouse.
Yes. The plot finally decides to introduce some urgency. The hostile neighbor's men ambush him. There is a shootout.
Great shootout.
And Friendless escapes, finding himself entirely alone on a moving train with 1,000 head of cattle.
And this is where my mind just completely blows apart. This is where the sheer, unadulterated genius of Buster Keaton cannot be denied.
I can deny it.
Think about the physical logistics of this. We are talking about 1925.
I am aware of the year, mate.
No, but really think about it. Visualize the set. You have Elgin Leslie and Bert Haynes on photography.
You very capable cameraman.
You have Fred Gabry as the art director. I want you to imagine the production meetings for this.
I'm sure they were stressful.
Fred Gabry's sitting there, and Keaton walks in and says, "Right, I need to shoot a scene where a man is alone on a moving freight train with 1,000 cows."
A completely unnecessary logistical nightmare.
How do you even light that? How do Elgin Leslie and Bert Haynes frame a shot on a rattling train car packed with live, unpredictable livestock?
Very careful.
It's not just a set. It's a moving, swaying, stinking box of absolute danger. The technical wizardry required to pull this off without anyone dying is mental. It is absolutely mental.
It is logistically difficult, yes. I am not denying the physical difficulty of putting 1,000 cows on a train.
Thank you.
It is a logistical nightmare, but difficulty does not equal artistic merit.
Of course it does when the result is this spectacular.
No, it does not. Throwing 1,000 cows on a train is just a massive chaotic distraction from a fundamentally weak script.
Distraction, it's the climax.
They realized the middle of the film was a dead zone, so they threw money and livestock at the screen to wake the audience up.
That is such a cynical take.
It is a spectacle designed to hide the fact that the emotional core you keep banging on about is incredibly thin. It is just chaos for the sake of chaos.
Hear me out, listener. Just hear me out.
Don't let him sway you.
If you've only seen modern films, right, you might take something like this for granted. But imagine being Fred Gabry in 1925.
We don't need to imagine.
You don't have CGI. You can't just paint 1,000 cows into the background with a computer.
Obviously.
You have to physically source them, physically load 1,500-pound animals onto a physical train, and then have Buster Keaton physically interact with them while Elgin Leslie and Bert Haynes physically crank the cameras on a moving locomotive.
You've said physically about 5 times now.
How is that not cinematic perfection? The sheer reality of it, the physical truth of the image. You can feel the danger.
The physical truth of the image is that it is a mess.
It's not a mess.
It is an impressive mess, but it is a mess. And this train ride, as we know from the text, inevitably derails.
Into the greatest sequence ever.
The herd ends up in the streets of Los Angeles.
The greatest finale in cinema history.
Let us examine that claim against the text. The cattle herd and the police roam the streets of L.A.
It's magical.
Now, the source text explicitly states that this final sequence turns a feeble comedy into a champagne cow opera.
Champagne cow opera. What a phrase.
Let me finish the quote.
It's a brilliant phrase.
It turns a feeble comedy into a champagne cow opera, allowing the spectator to finally forgive Keaton for his previous lethargy.
There's that word again.
The book is very clear. It only works as an apology for the rest of the film being so incredibly poor.
I don't accept the premise that the rest of the film is poor.
But more importantly, the book compares this sequence to 7 Chances and, very specifically, to his 1922 short film, Cops.
Yes, and it holds its own against them. Easily.
Hold on. Let us look at what the book actually says about Cops.
Oh no, Cops. Cops is great.
It says Cops is perhaps the most brilliant short slapstick comedy ever made.
It's a masterpiece, yes.
Let those words sink in, listener. The most brilliant short slapstick comedy ever made. If you don't know Cops, it is a masterclass in geometry.
Geometry, yes, but Go West is about nature.
The book notes the splendid gags, like Keaton using a boxing glove on a scissor extension as a traffic road sign to knock out a policeman.
A very funny bit.
It's perfectly timed. And the text praises Keaton's impressive arrangement of the balletic movement of a crowd.
Balletic, yes.
Balletic. That requires precision. Orchestrating human extras in Cops, hundreds of policemen chasing him in perfect synchronicity, turning corners like a school of fish that required a master director with absolute control over his environment.
He had control over the cows, too.
It's like a choreographed symphony. Go West just relied on the random, unpredictable chaos of animals running loose in Los Angeles.
That's not true.
There is no balletic movement in a stampede. It is just noise.
It's organized chaos.
It's a jazz improvisation where half the instruments are being played by wild animals. You cannot compare the masterful clockwork precision of cops to the utter shambles of cows knocking over fruit stands.
Hold on just a bloody minute.
I'm just reading the facts.
You think directing humans is harder than directing cows?
It requires more precision, yes.
Orchestrating 1,000 actual cows through the streets of Los Angeles is infinitely harder than directing human extras.
Nonsense.
Humans understand instructions. You can tell a human extra, run over there, hit your mark, and fall down on a count of 3.
And they do it balletically.
You try telling a cow to hit its mark. You try telling 1,000 panicked cows to act balletic.
Exactly, they can't. That's my point.
The LA street scenes in Go West are just as balletic and brilliant as Cops, but the canvas is wilder, it's untamed.
It's a mess.
Keaton isn't controlling them in the same way. He's surfing the chaos. He's reacting in real time to 1,500-pound beasts.
It is untamed because he had no control over it.
Yeah.
He just let them loose and filmed what happened. That is not directing, that is documenting a disaster.
That is the genius. He is harnessing the reality of the disaster.
It's just luck.
And I challenge your entire reliance on this book's cynical phrasing. Just because the author of Cinema, the Magic Vehicle, calls the first half a feeble comedy doesn't mean we have to agree with it as absolute gospel.
It is an authoritative text. We are meant to be analyzing it objectively.
It is one perspective. Listen, the Champagne Cow opera ending that effervescent, massive, explosive finale, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't have any weight whatsoever if he hadn't earned it with the slow build.
He didn't earn it. He bought it with cattle.
He earned it with the isolation on the ranch, and yes, with Brown Eyes the cow.
Oh, back to the cow.
The lethargy makes the chaos euphoric. It's like pulling back the string on a bow for 40 minutes.
A very, very boring 40 minutes.
You can't get the arrow to fly that fast unless you've built up the tension through absolute stillness first.
You are absolutely determined to see a masterpiece where there is only a structurally wonky film.
I am seeing the film for what it is.
It is bogged down by unearned sentimentality. The protagonist's journey is flat. The supporting cast is completely useless.
They aren't useless. They represent society.
The pacing is dreadful. And it is only saved from being a complete disaster by an admittedly fantastic, high-chaos final 10 minutes.
So you admit it's fantastic.
The final 10 minutes, yes. But 10 minutes does not a great film make.
It does when the 10 minutes are the culmination of a perfectly executed thematic arc about a man finding his place in a chaotic world.
You are delusional.
It is a brilliant, misunderstood masterpiece of emotional, physical comedy.
It is a magic trick. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And this brings me to a question for you, the listener. Consider this carefully.
Don't listen to him.
Does a spectacular, high-chaos finale excuse a sluggish, forced beginning in art? Think about it.
It wasn't sluggish.
If a creator makes you forgive all their flaws in the final moments, if they give you a Champagne Cow opera, have they actually made a great piece of work?
Yes.
Or have they just pulled off a great magic trick to distract you from the fact that they wasted your time for the first hour?
They didn't waste your time. They were preparing you. It's like if you build a massive, you don't just...
You don't have an argument.
I do. It is a masterpiece. You just can't see past the line.